Hello, guys, welcome. Today we are going to be learning about how to label and identify my coordinates. This is a very important lesson, especially for kids who are in sixth grade and above, because you're going to be utilizing many of these skills to solve many of your problems. So I'm going to go ahead and get started right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is to label my coordinate, my axis, which is going to be the positive y. Right below is going to be negative y. I started teaching in this manner about 6 years ago when I found that there were a particular student who just could not understand why one quadrant was negative, one was positive. She did not have an understanding. So for her, I decided to come up with this method where I labeled the negative and the positive. So on this axis is going to be my x and it's going to be positive. And this axis is going to be negative x. And then what I'm going to do now is to locate the quadrant. Quadrant 1 always start in the positive location where x is positive and y is positive. Now let's take a look. See, x is positive, y is positive. We've always written where x is going to be first. And a good way for you to remember, if you think about the alphabet, x comes before y. So we're going to start write x. And then I'm going to write my y. In this location, both of them are positive. I don't have to put any symbol unless you feel comfortable to. But in this location, this is called quadrant 1. It is usually written with a Roman numeral 1. In this location, we are going counterclockwise. This is going to be quadrant 2. Let's identify the coordinates in this location. If you notice, x is negative, so I'm going to put a negative x. And then y is positive, so I'm going to put a positive y. So it means that if you are plotting a point, right? And let's say you have a negative 4, 5, you wouldn't think about it. You know you'd come to this location, right? That's exactly how you're thinking about it. Now, in this location right here, we're going to call this quadrant 3. In quadrant 3, let's take a look. X is negative. Y is also negative. So if you have the coordinate you need to plot and both coordinate is negative, you know to come to this location. The last one is going to be quadrant 4. X is positive. Y is negative. So I'm going to have negative y. So although this may not seem like a big deal, I know this is not part of the introduction in many of the textbook, but I think it is so vital. If more students are taught this particular skill, they would do so well in many of the lesson that comes after this, like plotting points, rotating points, figure and so forth, translating them, many things like that. Okay, so this is very, very important. So the next and last thing, I'm going to identify my origin, which is going to be right here. This is where the point is 0, 0. Always, okay? So on the next lesson, we may plot some points, but right now, I find that this particular introduction is quite important for students to have a grasp or understanding of how to find their coordinates quickly. And you won't make a mistake of being in the wrong location, because if you know where your quadrants are and what the points should look like in that quadrant, you will know exactly where to be, and there would be a limit with your mistakes. All right, guys, you have a wonderful day. I will talk to you soon.